Mark Risco here with markrisco.com, coast-to-coast-propertycorp.com. As I stated last night, as I was up to the early morning hours of doing some grinding, thinking about planning today on how to put a different spin on some of these videos via Facebook Live. One of the things I reached out and I said, how about you all ask some questions and then we'll answer them. So Sydney Fagan, this is for you right here. Your question was, Mark, what makes certain properties unique when you're looking at them, so on and so forth. So I want to pick the kids next rehab here. Once again, we were supposed to close on it already this week, but title work has been a huge issue on this one. Something I teach about in our trainings all the time, about making sure you have the right power team, the right real estate attorney, and Brett Thompson is freaking doing an awesome job. As always, just making sure our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. So with that being said, we're definitely closer than ever and closing on it, but this is a kid's project that they bought for, or going to buy for, a little over $40,000. It's in Norfolk. So what was unique about this one is, as we were looking at this, we were thinking about doing a new build. I think, Rod, your question was too, with the difference between our decisions of doing a new build or a rehab. And there's a lot of things that go into play. Lot size, what our exit price point is, so on and so forth. This is a unique neighborhood in Norfolk. It's a couple blocks from Norfolk State University. So it's a fairly desirable neighborhood, but yet on the lower end price point, to where our exit here, because what we're going to do is put another floor on this. So again, Sydney, things that are unique to make sure a new build versus a rehab would be our foundation, meaning how deep does our foundation go. So in this case, for most cities around here, we need an 18-inch footer. This has a footer, as you can tell. A lot of times we will go ahead and dig a hole down to make sure that there's a footer underneath it. If we cannot put a footer underneath it, or if there's not a footer underneath it, we have to underpin, and then we have to take the cost of whether it's going to be underpinnings going to be reasonable enough versus tearing it down. In this case, the inside, even though it's chock-a-block full of stuff from a hoarder that used to live here, an older gentleman, it's definitely worth it to go ahead, and the area that's not underpinned, which would be the back on the other side of this, that we're going to have to put some underpinning in, because we're going to bring the back all the way out. So what we're going to do is put a second story on it and then bring it all the way back out to make it 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a little over 2,000 square foot, right about there. They're going to put 100,000 in to do it, so total they'll have about 140 grand into the property, and then they're going to turn around and sell it for about 209, 212. If it had a garage, we can get a little bit higher of a price point, but this neighborhood that we're at, as you all can see, not everyone has a garage. Hell, not everyone even has some off-street parking. So again, things that we have to look at, as you were asking, Cindy, what makes it unique is, what's the neighborhood, the exit price, and then when it's a mixed neighborhood, meaning some off-street, some on-street, garages, so on and so forth. And then who, as you know from being one of the workshops, what exit strategy are we going to use? Are we going to flip it? Are we going to rent it out? In this case, it's definitely going to be a flip. It's a desirable neighborhood right outside of Norfolk State. So once again, in this case, we were looking at doing a new build, but the square footage is there for the base, the foundation's there for the base, very minimal underpinning, smaller lot size. Unfortunately, this tree's gonna have to go to open up the front yard a little bit, and we'll do that. So total in, the kids will have about 140 into it, and then Andy the Hubinator, as always, will go ahead and sell it, and we're looking around a 212 exit. Once we close on it, I'll take you all inside. You'll be amazed at the chock-a-block stuff is full. We'll have our guys go in there, sift through it. Most of it's probably have to be thrown out, but whatever can be donated, we'll definitely donate it. But I hope, Cindy, that answered your question. Again, for those of you that have been to my workshop, we talk about the differences of wholesaling assignments, flips, rehabs, new builds, lease options. Again, never getting in without having 4 exit strategies. I'll talk about that also on one of my other videos today, because there was another question about that. What do we determine our exit strategies? Yeah, just a little story with the kids when I talk about them. As you've been to a workshop, you know that ever since birth, we never allowed them to take money that was given to them, for the most part, when it comes to birthdays, so on and so forth. They were hard money lenders, so lent out a lot of money the first few years of life, and then they've grown that money to where they actually have enough money to fund 100% their own rehabs. So the goal is that they all have to do at least 1 flip a year, which pays for their private schools as they go to Norfolk Collegiate, in my opinion, one of the best schools around in Hampton Roads. And by the time they graduate, if all works well, they've paid for their own private school, and they'll have substantial, little under 7 figures each to go ahead and go to college if they want, buy their first house. Again, all just from compounding money, either interest with hard money or flipping houses. So once again, as I made a decision 14 years ago, real estate has changed my life, teaching them the same thing, making sure they have a very different life than I had growing up. So I'll keep on doing these live videos. We're going to see how they work. Jason, loved your comment earlier about sexy flipper. Funny. Mike Brown, yes, in regards to your tax lien, they are murder sometimes. I didn't see what you were saying about your wife. Let me scroll down here. Wants to sell, and she's the only one on the deed. Husband doesn't want to sign. Yes, all that stuff. Again, making sure you have the right power team to make it happen. And then once again, I'll give Jason Swango some crap too with that sexy ball. I haven't clicked on it yet to see if it's an X-rated site, but wouldn't surprise me. But anyways, Jason, thanks for your support as always. You're a rock star, brother. One of the best lawyers I know, the best lawyer for divorces, the firm for men. Anyway, guys, keep following us. We'll do about another 8 videos today, give or take. Different projects I'll pick to answer y'all's questions. Have a great day. MarkRisco.com, coast-to-coast-propertycorp.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Newark, New Jersey this weekend. We're going to have a great workshop. See ya.